Hello, my wonderful people. Welcome back again to Bod TV Bod. This video, now the talk where Wike can talk, can disclaim everything where Amici talk. Now remember, say Amici talk say Wike they spend 50 million naira weekly to buy alcohol. That is, it is spend 50 million naira on weekly basis. Wait till they buy alcohol. How true is this? 50 million naira na big money. May you times some by 50 million naira in a week. Another 50 in another week. Okay, 4 weeks in the month. That one they run into trillions already. How true is this? So, and every other thing we can talk, say, INEC chairman don't fair work for Wike. And Wike confirm some facts, say they don't work for the same establishment, but they're not there together, work under them, and some other issues. Then it talks so many things, so you say, I want me to listen to this video. My people, this INEC chairman not be only one I stand, plenty people stand for it back. That is why if the man sit down, they talk, you go, you relax, you go do like this. You go, they talk the thing. You go, they calm. You be like who they tell you, say, no worry, we do your back. Who these people be? God, me they sleep, me they not wake up. End my prayer. Who they be? Who say Nigeria no go better? He go sleep. Because me, I dey wonder how people nights don't come now. You can't enter bed. You can't. How they take they sleep? How their dream be like? How their dream be like? I will let you now watch this video because this life, Baba God and the day.
Nigerians should know Rotimi for who he is, a morally bankrupt, haughty, and sadistic character with little political value, if at all. Amechi widely claimed in his recent interview that the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, conducted the worst elections in Nigerian history. He further alleged that Mahmood Yakubu worked under me as minister and confessed that he opposed his reappointment because he was nominated by someone in the president-elect's camp of the APC. The truth was that Mahmood Yakubu never worked under me. Both of us worked in the Federal Ministry of Education. He was the Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, supervised by the Ministry of Education, while I was Minister of State for Education. At any rate, was Mahmood Yakubu, our next chairman, in the 2015 general election in Rivers State when we defeated him and his political party as a sitting governor and Director General of Buhari presidential campaign. Was it not the same Mahmood Yakubu that conducted the 2019 general election, which the APC and President Muhammad Buhari won? Was he working for Atiku Abubakar of the PDP when, as a sitting super minister of transportation, he could not win 25% for President Buhari in Rivers State in the 2019 general election? Why did it take this long for Rotimi to speak out about his opposition to Mahmood Yakubu's reappointment? What was the motive for his egocentric opposition to his reappointment? In his frustration, Rotimi publicly denounced and claimed to know so much bad things about the federal government that he served for 7 years. Yet, he lacked the courage to tell Nigerians what he claimed to know about Buhari's government, which he alleged had totally failed. In similar claims, law enforcement agencies should have invited such a devious and malignant character for hate speech, public incitement, and threat to national security, public safety, and order. By his mischievous statements, Rotimi attempted to attribute, locate, and blame his infamous political failures and frustrations in Rivers State on the INEC chairman. In the 2015 general elections, we defeated him as a sitting governor and Director General of the Buhari campaign in Rivers State. In the 2019 general election, we beat him as the President Buhari's super minister and Director General of the APC presidential campaign. He could not even influence 25% of the votes for his party, even after using the army to cause mayhem and attempt to rig the election. In 2023, we defeated him as an ordinary person. This shows that Rotimi Amechi cannot win any electoral contest with us in Rivers State. We thank God they ran this election without being disqualified by the courts. They would have been claiming something else by now. We urge them to stop the perennial complaints, propaganda, and futile diatribes and accept that Rivers State belongs to the PDP. Those who betrayed us now know that infidelity is never a virtue, nor does it pay. However, we are forgiving them, just as the governor-elect has also told me he will forgive them if they retrace their steps. That tells you that their decision was to vote for a Southern president. So amongst them, one must always get the highest vote. So if you look at the votes, APC won, followed by the Labour Party. So that tells you what decision they took. That is the decision of Rivers people.
Is that indeed reflective, Your Excellency? Because there are those who strongly believe that you swung that election in the favor of the candidate of the APC, now president-elect. And I'll give you two examples. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, said this in a recent interview, saying, in Rivers, the governor came out against me. If the real votes of Rivers were counted, I won over 50% of the votes. A foremost economist and a prominent son of Rivers State, Mr. Atedo Peterside, says that evidence shows that Labour Party results were swapped for APC in some cases. And I mean, lots of other reports like that. So what do you say to those who strongly believe that you rigged that election in favor of APC?
The word rig, it's unfortunate for anybody to use the word rig. I don't work for INEC. I don't have any documents with me. I'm not an ad hoc staff of INEC. And so I'm not in a place to rig election for anybody. It's when you have the materials of INEC that you can now talk about rigging. But I take exception to Peter Obi's comment that I came out against him. People are not being sincere. People are not being, people are not appreciative. In 2019, asked Peter Obi, I was one of the team that chose Peter Obi to be the vice presidential candidate of Elijah Tugambaka. When we met in Elijah Tugambaka's house, he said, these are the names. I will choose Peter Obi. Peter Obi was invited while we were in Saraki's house in the night. I was fought by people like Ikwemadu. My own friend, the governor of Ebonyi State, people like Fireside. Every blame was on why would I be the one that would say Peter Obi should, why should I choose for the service? Did he come out to say Governor Wike was the one who supported me to be the vice presidential candidate? He didn't say so. And now he's saying that I said to Nigeria, I will support a certain candidate because we have talked about power shift. As somebody who attended the meeting of the certain governors in Asaba, in Lagos, in Enugu, who said, whichever party you belong to, it must be a certain president. So when he says, I came out against him, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Because nobody has ever had me during my campaign say, don't vote for Peter Obi. I have never said so. But even if that is the case, that I did not support him, I cannot say I came out against him. I didn't have any agreement with him in the first place to say, I had an agreement with you and you renege. So it is totally not correct.
So did you come out for him?
Why would I come out for him? Did I have to tell you I'll come out for him before? And I didn't come out for him. All I told you was that Rivers State was going to choose and support a certain president. And they did. The first person was a certain person. The second candidate was a certain person. That shows you the belief of the people of Rivers. Yes. So if he says that he won, I have no problem. The matter's in the tribunal. It is for them to go and prove who won or who didn't win. I don't want to begin to reply P2B or reply to the Peter side That is their own position.
Excellency, permit me to come in there. What level of influence do you command over elections as a state chief executive officer? Because you constantly told us that you were going to come out to tell Rivers people who to vote for. And now they are talking about rigging, and you have clearly dissociated yourself from that.
Having influence and rigging election are two different things. If your people have confidence in you, for example, they will not to go the way you are going. That does not mean you are rigging an election. Take, for example, as a governor, why should people trust me? People should trust me because I've told people this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I've done them. I've stood for Rivers State and this, and I've done it. Therefore, the people of Rivers State, look, this is somebody we should deal with, right? So in that way, can say, okay, I have influence. Your command, your influence, is not because you are wicked. It's because of what you stand for, or what Rivers have seen you to do for them. That is different. The rigging has to do with those who are in control of the electoral materials. I'm not in control of the electoral materials. You were one that day of the voting. I couldn't vote for more than 3 hours. Even when I voted, my wife couldn't vote. And I said, this is unacceptable. In my own polling unit. So if I couldn't vote for 3 hours, then what is the influence of rigging?
Why do we have pockets of resistance from some quarters, especially from Rivers State, over the outcome of the presidential election? If actually Rivers people voted for the party you asked them to.
Is it anybody who makes noise is the one that tells the truth? Is it when you go to social media or you go to press to begin to shout, it means what you are saying is correct? Then when you don't talk, it means that because you didn't say anything, it means you are wrong. That is not correct. Now the man who comes out to the public to shout, it does not mean it's the man that is right. Everybody has his own strategy. Everybody has his own strategy. We have done elections. When people fail, they will rush to television, they will rush to radio houses and begin to shout. So if you begin to say, because they have come to the radio houses, they've gone to media houses, means that they are right. No, that would be wrong. So it depends on your strategy. For me, I'm a due process person. If you don't believe in this, there are rooms to challenge it. There are rooms. And take, for example, if you are so influential, look at what happened. What is the result today in all the states by the governorship election, the Labour Party and the rest of them? So it is difficult for anybody to say anybody came out against you to win the election. For Christ's sake, anybody who knows me know. I was opposed to a Northern president, and everybody heard me clearly. If I was supposed to be, he knows. What will he do to me? Will he kill me? I will tell my book openly, don't vote for me. For Christ's sake, he can kill me. So for him to come out and say, Governor Wike came out, is so unfortunate. So unfortunate.
What's your assessment of INEC, the conduct of the election? Some person said because INEC promised to upload results, especially the presidential results to IREV, and they couldn't because of glitches here and there, people feel that the credibility of INEC is at stake or is questionable. But what's your assessment of the conduct of INEC from INEC perspective?
You see, if you want our electoral process, you can see in every election there are some improvements. You have said about hitches here, which means there are some problems. And so if you have problems, there's technology. You cannot say that it was intentional. Now, for me, the introduction of divas, for me, has reduced the level of violence in Nigerian electoral system. But for the divas that was introduced by INEC, what you are saying today would have been a different thing. Because today, even if you go and hijack material, when you hijack material, what will you do with it? Unlike before, you can hijack materials, hijack the INEC staff, you go and prepare the result, take the collation officer, he signs the result. But today is no longer that. That does not mean that we have gotten it 100%. INEC having now known, like you said, in the presidential election, these were the problems. In the governorship election, did they improve? Certainly yes. Which means having been able to identify problems, they have now moved to the next stage, and they've been able to correct that. In fact, I was surprised when I went to my polling unit. It didn't take me 1 minute.
For the governorship?
Yeah, for the governorship. So things moved on well. In fact, in that presidential election, I was even trying to say whether it was intentional. Yes, but you see,
You went home and came back.
Even when I went back the second time, it took me time. And my wife didn't vote. You know what that means? So I would have said, are you sure this is not manipulated? But you see, you are worried, you are tense, you could say all kinds of things. But during this governorship, it moved well. So it means that they've identified the problem and they've been able to solve those problems. And if they have another election coming, it will be better than what you are seeing today. So for me, in every system, there will be deficiencies. It's for you to be able to identify those deficiencies and be in a position to solve them.